Good afternoon. This is, I'm on. Very cool. This is Economics 113, U.S. Economic History. I don't know what class is in 2 LeConte behind me, but if you're not looking for U.S. Economic History, you're in the wrong room. So this is 1 LeConte, and we want to welcome you all here. Hopefully by now you each have 3 handouts. Pick up one of each as you walk in. And if not, you can check them out from the front at the end on your way back out. The way that we'll run this is I'm going to use PowerPoint for 113. Those of you who've had Econ 1 with me know how this thing works. There's also a little pen that goes with it, so I'm able to annotate the slides as we go along. The first slide will always be the outline. Once I get I'm trying to reformat some old slides, and I couldn't get the whole outline thing to be a pick up handouts on your way right in front of me. I couldn't get the outline thing to run along as a footer on today's slides, but normally the outline will be there on all the slides. Also, if you saw the email that I sent over the weekend, you know that the slides were posted online on the course website by yesterday. They're always there by 10 o'clock the night before, and as it says on the website, if you check the website after 10 o'clock on Monday or Wednesday night and the slides are not there, it means I forgot. So somebody send me an email so that as soon as I get in at 8 o'clock Tuesday or Thursday morning, I see the email, curse a little bit, and get the slides posted Thursday morning. So let's get started with all sorts of things. First thing I'm going to do is run through the syllabus, which I need a copy of, just to make sure that we're all good on the various things that are in the syllabus. So my office hours show there. The GSI office hours will be posted on the course website. The course website, oh no, let me see if I can make my pen do this, is on the top of the syllabus. Now I already did that part. Let me see. Good. The course website is on the top of the syllabus. Make sure that you bookmark that site. There's a lot of things here on the course website that you'll need. The lecture outlines, you can see that daily handouts will be there, or weekly handouts. So today as you came in, you received a copy of the week's handout. Those will always have for you on hard copy on Tuesday. But if you lose it or you need it later or for whatever other reason you don't have it, they are also archived in PDF format on the website. For those of you who've come in late and need the handouts, the best thing to do is always to come up at the end and get them so you're not disturbing me and all these other people who are now watching you and watching me watching you and otherwise wondering what's going on. Okay. Rachel, can you guys put these on the wash stand over there? That'd be great. Okay, so let's see, what else did I want to say about the website? Office hours will be there. For those of you, we will also use BSpace for a few things. I don't like BSpace because it's closed access, so BSpace has things on it that I can't show to the rest of the world because they don't have JSTOR access, or that I just like to keep private, like the emails that I send to you. So the emails I send to you are archived at BSpace. If you can't find one, they're all there, and you can go and check those out at BSpace. And there'll be a few other things on BSpace, but most of what you want is on the overall course website, which I showed you just a second ago. The course, I almost forgot to tell you, the course is being screencast. I've never done this before, so I can't tell you exactly what it means. What they told me it means is that they're capturing what shows on the computer and what comes out of my mouth and goes into the microphone, and then will be on the university's YouTube channel. I don't know what that means. So what I think it means is that if you speak into a microphone, then your voice is also captured. If you just ask a question, I don't think your voice is captured. So if we get to the point, we're going to have times when we have group work that we do in here and you're going to report out. If you don't want me to ever use your name when I call on you or when you report out, somehow tell me and I'll try to remember a short list, I hope, of people who don't want their name used. Otherwise, I'll say like, Dennis, what's up? Dennis, is that right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, cool. All right, enrollment. You have to go to the first section. If you were in Rachel's 101, were there anybody who missed? Cool. So you need to go to your first section because that's how we figure out who's not showing up and who we're going to drop in order to make space for those of you who are still on the wait list. The other thing I can tell you about the wait list is we have a whole bunch of seats set aside for history majors. Not very many of them took advantage of that, so we've now released those seats into the general pool, and so the wait list is going to move quite a bit in the next 12 to 16 hours. The GSIs for the course are Rachel West, Eric Johnson, and Andrew Kenny. So the 4 of us are your team for Econ 113. 60 of you have Rachel, and 60 of you have Andrew, and 60 of you have Eric. Typically, they'll be seated probably over here, over there. Rachel has a class at 3:35 over at the law school, so she's going to boogie out of here and be the first one out on her bike and out of here. So don't expect to catch Rachel and ask her questions after class.
So email Rachel if you missed my first section, and we'll negotiate, perhaps.
Yeah, there you go. All right, thank you. Okay, what else did I want to say? Textbooks. So you need to get a textbook. The textbook for the course is Walton Rockhoff's History of the American Economy. This is the 11th edition, which is what I ordered. There's previous editions out there. There are not very many changes, as near as I could tell, between 10th and 11th. You'll have to figure out the page correspondences between 10th and 11th if you pick up the 10th. Somebody asked me about the 9th edition. I seem to recall that they really revamped the last 2 chapters of the book between either 8 and 9 or 9 and 10. And there's always new information they put in based on research that's been done. So I wouldn't go too far back, but certainly 10 and probably 9 is okay. There's also a reader. Looks like this because that's what all the readers at Copy Central look like. That doesn't tell you much. Copy Central over on Bancroft is the source of the reader, $41.64. And whose was this? Eric, thank you. So make sure that you pick up a reader. The readings are also linked on the website for the course, so if you want to try downloading them, make sure you know how to use the proxy server. There's a couple of readings that are from books. Those are on 2-Hour Reserve in Moffat. So you can try downloading them yourself if you don't want to put down the money for the reader. Did you forget something? No problem. Okay. Letter of introduction. At your second section meeting, so not this week, but next week, or the week after if you're in the Monday section. At your second section meeting, we'd like you to write a 1-page letter of introduction of yourself to your GSI. Include your name, include a photo of yourself to help your GSI put the name and the face together. It's harder in this class than it was in Econ 1 or 100B for the GSIs to learn your name because they're only going to see you once a week instead of twice a week, so those pictures are really important. Try to make it a picture that looks like you, so we all have access to your pictures that are on your student IDs. Not helping me a whole lot with learning a whole lot of the names, but in some cases it does help. So a picture that actually looks like you and not necessarily the one that's on your student ID. And then whatever else about yourself you'd like to share with your GSI. So if I was writing you one of these things, I don't know what I would say today. What would I say today? Oh, I know what I'd say today. Okay, if I was writing one of these things today, I would talk about, since especially it's economic history, I was born in Oakland, and we just had my aunt's funeral on Saturday, and my aunt and uncle met when they were in junior high school or maybe even elementary school, in 1928. So my aunt was 95 when she passed away. They'd been married 74 and a half years. My uncle sang, "Have I told you lately that I love you?" to my aunt every day, and he sang it to her at the funeral, and everybody cried. And our family is Oakland family, and even my cousins, my aunt's grandchildren, who were never raised in Oakland, were raised in Atascadero, they consider themselves Oakland people. So that's who we are, Oaklandish sort of people. My son is a student at the Oakland School for the Arts at 18th and Telegraph in downtown Oakland, and so those are our roots. My son said a really interesting thing on the way home from the service on Saturday, having looked at all sorts of pictures that were taken of his grandmother and my aunts in the 1920s and 1930s, and he said it was really interesting to look at these photos from the 1920s when they're photos of people that you knew and knew well. And what he said to me, he said, it was like I could touch that era because I knew somebody who was in that picture from the 1920s and I knew them well. So I'm going to help you touch a whole lot of eras in this class, back to pre-colonial times and on through the present. And that's what we're going to do. So that's what I would write. Every semester I write different things in my letter of introduction. So that's what I would write if I was writing one today. Let's see, what else do I want to call your attention to in the syllabus? The letter of introduction's in there. We use email a lot for communicating with you, so make sure that you check your email. If you did not receive an email from me over the weekend, I sent one, and it should have gone to everyone who's on the wait list or enrolled in the course, so you should have received it. We're going to use Piazza this semester. I used it last semester in Econ 1. I still have mixed feelings about it, but I thought I'd give it another shot and see how it does. Piazza, if you're not familiar with it, you should have all received an email from them on Sunday inviting you to the Piazza site. It's a place where you can post questions. The advantage of it for me is that I don't get 15 separate emails that are all about what chapters are on the midterm or logistical questions about enrollment. The advantages for you are that sometimes you have questions and you don't really want to pose it, or you can't quite articulate the question yet, and somebody else has already posed that question and it's been answered. The other advantage for you is that you can help to answer the questions. And when you answer the questions, the GSIs and I, when we go through and read Piazza, we give little check marks, like little like, it's like a like thing on Facebook, to good student answers. And so that helps you to know if you're on top of things. When you start answering other people's questions and then we go through and say ding to those answers, then everything is just one big happy face. So that's what we're going to try, and we'll see how it goes. What I didn't like about it last semester in Econ 1 was I felt like using it sent the wrong message, because I felt like it sent the message that I was sort of stiff-arming you and I didn't want your questions, which is not true. So I do want your questions. It's helpful, though, to have them come in through Piazza, because then it's a conversation with more than just two people, more than just me and you, which has positive externalities. Benefits everybody. Okay. Announcements. I send all announcements by email, so if you have an announcement you want to make, send it to me. I send it out by email. Laptops. Oh, there's one. No laptops in this class. You can use a tablet PC if you have a tablet. An iPad is fine, so it has to be flat on the desk. But no laptops that are open, because all the people behind you have just been reading all of your email and watching whatever you were watching on YouTube. And it's rather distracting to everybody, particularly in this class, with how steep this room is, right? That somebody with a laptop in row 2, everybody behind you is reading what you're doing on your laptop. So that's the laptop policy. Let's see, what else? Assessments for this class, there's a lot of work, but hey, it's an upper division class. So in section, you'll be doing work in groups, and the TAs will talk with you more about that. In section, there's a couple of problem sets, 3 response papers where you will critique particular readings from the reader, a term paper at the end of the semester, a couple of midterms, and a final. So all that's laid out in the syllabus with more details there and how many points each of these things is worth. I mentioned this. Academic honesty. It all stems from the fact that when I was an undergraduate, I sat in my econ final and watched these students cheat, and it really ticked me off because the professor was up at the front and she was deliberately paying no attention, and it meant that all the rest of us, it was really unfair to everybody who wasn't cheating. So that's the source of how I deal with this stuff. Plus, the university has rules I have to follow. And so just do your own work, particularly on the term paper and the response papers. Issues of plagiarism oftentimes are a result of people not fully understanding the definitions of plagiarism. So we all learn in elementary school that you can't cut and paste from other sources, or you can't sit and type up exactly word for word what was in another source. We're all clear on that. What's not taught as well in K-12 is that plagiarism is basically presenting someone else's ideas as your own. And so that's not presenting their word for word quotes, but it's also presenting their ideas, the things they came up with, the thoughts they had about how two things fit together, and presenting them in a way that it makes it sound as if it's your own idea. So even paraphrasing without credit is plagiarism. So it doesn't mean you can't paraphrase, it just means you have to tell us whose ideas they were, right? So you always give people credit, right? You don't draw the Mona Lisa and say, oh, look at this gorgeous painting I did. You say, this is my replication of, I don't even know who did the Mona Lisa originally. Da Vinci. My son is an artist. I'm not. That's all I can say. Okay. All right, so this course, we proceed chronologically. I think it's most helpful to take a chronological approach. Oh, fire alarm policy. Sorry, forgot one. Fire alarm policy. Backing up. Fire alarm policy. If somebody pulls a fire alarm, it doesn't happen as much. It still happens. I saw it happen in Stanley Hall during finals. If somebody pulls a fire alarm during a midterm or during the final, you pick all your stuff up, go outside, sit down. We hope it's not raining. Finish the test. We'll still finish the test by the end of the hour, 3:30 or 2:30, depending on whether it's the midterm or the final. You'll get it done, and then we'll let UCPD figure out who pulled the alarm, and they'll handle it from there. But just so you know, it's not going to abort the final. You're still going to get to, or the midterm. You're still going to take the test. Your studying will not be for naught. We'll get it all taken care of. Okay, overview of the course. So in a course in economic history is not the history of thought. So we're not looking at what various economists have said. We're looking at various events in United States history and trying to understand those things through the lens of economics. So we proceed chronologically. Because of the shortening of the semester with the introduction of RR week, I had to cut some material, and so the material I chose to cut was primarily the colonial period. So there's almost nothing now on the colonial period in the course. So I'm going to do a little bit of pre-colonial history on Tuesday, and then jump right over that to the 1780s or so, and skip the colonial period altogether. So I put together a little photo display of the things we're going to do. So this is transportation networks in the early era. We're going to talk about agriculture, including agricultural implements like plows. We're going to talk about labor and things like why women were used as labor forces in New England. We're going to talk about cotton and slavery and the practice of slavery in the South before the Civil War. We'll talk about immigration, both primarily through Ellis Island, but also through other means. We'll talk about banking and finance and the development of a national banking system. We'll talk about advertising and the development of brand names in the first part of the 20th century. We'll talk about automobiles and installment credit to use to buy those sorts of things. We'll talk about the Great Depression in quite some depth. And we'll talk about World War II a little bit. We'll talk about women's issues, and we'll talk about race issues both during the interwar period and also in the second half of the 20th century. What you can see in the syllabus is the topics. We hit pretty much each topic 3 times. So we're going to hit banking and finance 3 times. Before the Civil War, between the Civil War and World War II, and after World War II. We're going to hit labor and immigration 3 times. So a lot of these topics we hit 3 times because we keep cycling back to them. There's 2 choices as to how to organize a course in economic history. One is thematically. So we talk about immigration from the colonial period to 2013, and then we talk about finance from the colonial period to 2013. And my experience is that the course makes more sense as a story about the United States economy if we proceed chronologically the way that we're going to do it here. Now, part of learning economic history is learning geography. You simply can't understand United States economic history if you don't know your geography. And that's why we gave you the map, and that's why you're going to go on the course website and print out multiple copies of this map. So there's a link on the course website to a PDF version and a link to a Word version of that map. You can use either one, they're the same thing. And you want to print out a whole lot of copies of that map, and you want to bring it with you to class each time and bring it with you to section. Because on each exam, as you'll see from the old exams on the course website, on each exam there will be a map question. where you have to mark in on the map where various things are. Where's the Erie Canal? Where was the most fertile region for growing cotton during the era of slavery? Where's the Mississippi River? Where was the Northwest Territory? So all of those things, good. All of those things you're going to need to be able to identify. So I gave you one map. You're going to want to have more, and then just bring them with you each time. And I will say, dig out your map, and then we'll draw some things on the map. Okay, any questions so far? Cool. All right. So why do we do economic history? Oh, we do economic history because some of us love it. But we do economic history because economic history is relevant for understanding contemporary issues. So I'm going to see if I can make this work. From the inaugural yesterday, I already logged in, so let me see if it... Oh, there it is. Cool. Volume. No. Pause. This is why I need to have a person here. Okay, well, I have a choice 2. Let me see. I'm going to see if I'm going to try sneaky. Oh, wait. Unmute. Mute. Unmute. Okay, now it should work, right? No. Where's the phone?
Thank you.
Where's the speaker?
Thank you so much.
Is it there?
Vice President Biden, Chief Justice, members of the United States Congress, distinguished guests,
Is that working? Okay.
and fellow citizens. Each time we gather to inaugurate a president, we bear witness to the enduring strength of our Constitution. We affirm the promise of our democracy. We recall that what binds this nation together is not the colors of our skin, or the tenets of our faith, or the origins of our names. What makes us exceptional, what makes us American, is our allegiance to an idea articulated in a declaration made more than 2 centuries ago. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Today, we continue a never-ending journey to bridge the meaning of those words with the realities of our time. For history tells us that while these truths may be self-evident, they have never been self-executing. That while freedom is a gift from God, it must be secured by His people here on earth. The patriots of 1776 did not fight to replace the tyranny of a king with the privileges of a few, or the rule of a mob. They gave to us a republic, a government of, and by, and for the people, entrusting each generation to keep safe our founding creed. For more than 200 years we have. Through blood drawn by lash and blood drawn by sword, we learned that no union founded on principles of liberty and equality could survive half slave and half free. We made ourselves anew and vowed to move forward together. Together we determined that a modern economy requires railroads and highways to speed travel and commerce, schools and colleges to train our workers. Together we discovered that a free market only thrives when our rules ensure competition and fair play. Together, we resolved that a great nation must care for the vulnerable and protect its people from life's worst hazards and misfortune. Through it all, we have never relinquished our skepticism of central authority, nor have we succumbed to the fiction that all society's ills can be cured through government alone. Our celebration of initiative and enterprise, our insistence on hard work and personal responsibility, these are constants in our character. We have always understood that when times change, so must we. That fidelity to our founding principles requires new responses to new challenges. That preserving our...
So it goes on, but I really wanted you to hear the parts that I felt as I listened to this yesterday. Oh, no, I'm done. There. The parts that when I was listening to it yesterday that I felt were particularly relevant for what we're doing. Because he basically runs through the course there at one point in the talk, right? So he says, together we determined that a modern economy requires railroads. We're going to talk about transportation networks and the development of transportation networks, not just railroads, but canals and roads and bridges and highways, and the importance of those things for economic growth. To speed travel and commerce. Schools travel, so we'll talk about them in the context of transporting people as we settled this country, and commerce for making trade easier. Excuse me, on the side, no laptops during class, please. Thank you very much. Schools and colleges. We're going to look at work by Claudia Goldman and Larry Katz that talks about the development of colleges in the 20th century and the high school movement of the early 20th century, and the importance of education. And we'll also look at late 20th and early 21st century education patterns and trends, and the role of that in economic growth. Together we discovered that a free market only thrives when there are rules to ensure competition and fair play. So we need to look at when does the free market work well, and when does the free market not work well. One of the lessons I'll teach you is that the institution of slavery, left to a free market, that's a profit-maximizing, a profitable institution. It's probably an institution we want to have some rules around, because you leave a market to free market without rules to guide how we behave, and we may behave in ways that we as a society find repugnant. Together we resolve that a great nation must care for the vulnerable and protect its people from life's worst hazards and misfortune. Not only is that about the New Deal in response to the Great Depression, it's also about what happens in industry and the experiences that we had. Some of you read The Jungle, for instance, when you were in high school. The experiences that we've had in terms of an unregulated manufacturing force and the effect that has on injury and on death. So all of that paragraph in particular, that's our course. He sort of like laid it out right there. It was almost like I sent him the syllabus and then he wrote the speech. I thought, pretty cool. He did a good job studying the syllabus.